Hi, welcome to another FlareCorp Media Camera Lens Thing. I'm Jason, and today we are looking at filters for large telephoto prime lenses. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while because when I was researching this, there was no information on the internet that I could find to answer my question. My question was, how do they work? What filters do I need to buy for a large telephoto prime? This is the 800 f6.3 lens for Nikon, the Z mount lens, and I had no idea how to make filters work for this. And you say, what are you talking about, Jason? Filters are obvious. Everyone knows how to use it. You screw it onto the front and you shut up about it. Well, that's how they work on smaller lenses, but the primes are a little different. And I'll explain my question in a second, but first let me tell you, a while back when I was researching this, I didn't have the lens yet. And so I was looking ahead thinking that I want to use this lens for the solar eclipse, which happened in the United States back in March of 2024. I don't normally use filters all that much, but in order to take a photo or video of the sun, you do need special solar filters. These block out basically everything but the sun. I can just see my lights through it. But anyway, they block out, they're like an 18 stop. It means they darken your image by 18 stops. So you have to have that in order to photograph the sun, because otherwise the light, just like your eyes, shining through here is going to be so intense that damages your sensor. So I was looking for a solar filter for this lens I didn't own yet. Now with most lenses, they allow you to put the filter right on the front, and they even tell you the size. So this one has a little 77 right there, so that's 77 millimeters for the diameter. So you can just go and buy a filter that's 77 millimeters in size, and there's threads on the inside of your lens, and you simply can screw it in. Now this one's a magnetic one, so that way you can just take your filter on and off magnetically, but you still screw it in here, and that's how most filters work. They do make square filters where you put like a mounting device on your camera or on your lens, and then you put a square plate in front of it, and that way you can use it for different sizes, and it usually has a little better, it can have a little better uniformity across it, but 99 times out of 100 people are going to be using screw-on filters. Okay, well that's fine. But again, I didn't have this lens yet, so I was trying to research what the diameter of this front element was, and no place did it say online what the filter size was. Most of them advertise takes a 77 millimeter filter. This one, nothing, because I was kind of looking, do they even sell solar filters this size? Turns out they do, but they're more for telescopes, things like that. But the specs did say that this took a 46 millimeter drop-in filter. So I went and learned a little bit about that, watching reviews. Most people, the reviews you watch say, there's your drop-in filter, and then they move on. Now we're to the point where I could not find any information on the internet about this, so that's, again, why I'm making this video. I'm going to tell you all about this drop-in filter and how it works. So as I was researching this problem, I checked things like B&H Photos and Amazon to see if anyone mentioned this in their reviews. I looked to see if they sold accessories, if they sold filters for this. And when you do that, you're going to find probably two options. Now, I am talking about the Nikon, but this applies for Sony and Canon as well, I assume. But you're going to find two options for the Nikon, and that is, I'm looking at my notes here to make sure I get it right. The Nikon branded slip-in polarizing filter for $513. Most filters are $100, maybe $200 for the really nice ones. $513. And when you look at it, it looks like this with a filter in it. And I've since come to look a little deeper. It actually has a screw on the top so you can spin the polarization as needed without taking this out. So that's probably why it costs so much, but is ridiculously expensive. The other option you're going to find is one by a case, and that is they're kind of the same thing. They have this with a magnetic ring. That's actually what this lens I showed you filter was earlier. It's a case, magnetic ring built into this, and then you can put on 3 or 4 different filters magnetically on that. But again, it was a drop-in thing. And that case one was, depending on what size you get, $400 to $500. So I'm like, holy crap, can you not put filters in this? Can you not get a solar filter? Am I going to have to like put a big Mylar sheet, a couple sheets of Mylar on this, welding glass like I had to do in the Eclipse in 2017? How the heck does it work? Is this thing that I keep pulling out just a plug so you don't get dust in there when, you know, you're not in use? Clearly you don't want to leave a hole gaping there. So is this just a plug? Well, so I ended up buying the lens anyway and just said, if I can't use it for the solar eclipse, well, I still want it for the wildlife photography and other things. So I got it in, and that's when I finally got to play with this hands-on and figure out what the heck it works. The thing that no one ever showed on camera or in reviews is that this opens. So I'm going to put it right here, and there's a little latch right there, and you just pop it open. So there's it open. Okay, so what does that mean? Does that mean that you have to just have something in there that sandwiches? Do you still have to buy a special filter for this? Obviously no. Some of you this may have been obvious to some people, maybe to everyone, and that's why no one made a video about it or ever discussed it, because it was obvious. But to me, who was looking to spend a significant amount of money on this, I wanted to know all of its capabilities, and this to me seems like a very important feature to explain in like the manual or something. So this is a 46mm solar filter, and on one side of this there are threads just like the end of a lens. So you can imagine this is exactly the same thing. So there are threads in it, meaning you can take any generic filter and screw it in. Okay, just like that. It's not falling out. And then you close it back up, and there's your filter. So then when you put it in here, just drops in, and now that's in front of your filter. So all of those other ones I found were replacements, but they added functionality. They added a little gear, the one by Nikon and the one by Case. They added a little dial here that let you spin the polarizing filter. So that may be why it costs more money. I think it's more just, hey, we're the only name in the game, so we're going to jack up the price on this. But in terms of generic filters that you can buy, that's what a slide-in / drop-in filter is. It's a caddy for you to put a normal filter in. Now, something I did see while researching this, again, it didn't explain my question, but a question several other people had in forums was how to get a replacement for this. So if you lose this, you're going to have a gaping hole all the time unless you tape it up. So several people wanted to know how you get a replacement for this. It's also something you might want because you've got a filter, and you just saw how long it took me to put that in there. You have to pop it open, unscrew it. God, see, I'm trying to do this fast for camera, but it's still taking me a while. Unscrew it. Okay, close it back up, store your filter, and pop it back in. That takes a long time, especially if you're taking photos of the sun. Yeah, you can just pop it out, but again, you have a gaping hole. So people want to know, how can you buy one of these? So I'm going to tell you how you can buy one of those. You can't, not from a normal store. This is called a filter holder unit, and the only way to get another one of these is from the Nikon parts store. And so that website, I have it linked in the video description below, is parts.nikonusa.com. And there you're going to be able to look for parts. And the part number for this is 136JK. All one word. 136JK filter holder unit. And it costs $205 to replace this flimsy piece of plastic. And so the reason, again, you might want another one of these is so you can have multiple filters, take one out, put one in, or leave a filter in one, take it out, put a blank one in, etc. So no matter what, these are expensive. So because this is so expensive, maybe that's why those pre-made ones, also by Nikon and Case, were so expensive, justified in their mind expensive, because to buy just this little caddy, it's over $200. But anyway, that's how you get a spare one of these. Nikon does not consider this an accessory. They consider it a replacement part, and the only way to get into it is if you start looking at the repair manual for this, and that's how you find out what the heck this thing is called. So there's your little other tidbit. So to bring this all home, I do have a write-up on my website, link in the video description down below, so you can reference this back at any time, share it with people, get more information, get links to all the stuff I'm talking about. But to bring this back home, this accepts any screw-in filter. In order to get replacements for it, for the Nikon, assume other camera manufacturers are the same. You need to think of it as a replacement part and contact the company through their parts service. Same thing like if you were to lose this would be a part. It's not an accessory. Okay, that's how you get a replacement for this. If you have any questions, leave comments in the video description down below. Let me know if you knew this, or if this is a question you had and you found this video because you're trying to find the answer just like I was. This video doesn't have a sponsor. The sponsor is, I have a Patreon and a YouTube membership. There's a behind the scenes video for this that's going up. There's also behind the scenes video for the zoo that I did last month. I also did a editing video up there as well. So behind the scenes stuff gets put on that membership page. So links to that below. With all that said, if you did find this video interesting or informative, please consider giving it a thumbs up. This is going to help other people find my video when they're looking for answers for this type of thing. Do consider subscribing as well so you don't miss out on any content creator focused videos in the future. But until next time, I'm doing what I love. Keep doing what you love. Thanks for watching.